So I can vividly remember, I was the new chief nurse of the hospital at the time, and Dad invited me to come to the meetings and sit on hay bales outside to talk about the Harcum House, which ended up being the Pickering House. And Dad said, and I was there when he said it, "I have an idea, let me pursue it." And they said, "Okay, Gordon, enjoy yourself." And so he made an appointment with Virginia Pickering, who was a patient of his. And she said, "Yes, Gordon, come on over." And it was middle of the afternoon, early evening. And he sat down in her living room and he looked at her and he said, "Virginia, you know we're building a hospice house." "Yes, I do know that." He said, "Well, we don't have enough money. We need another $1 million. And I would like to ask you for it." And she said, "Okay, Gordon, on one condition." So what's that? She said, "I will give you the $1 million, but if any time I ever need you, day or night, as my physician," and he was her physician, "when I call you, you're going to come and help me." So over the years, she would fall out of bed, and it would be the middle of the night. Mom would be sleeping, Dad would be sleeping. They had a great big bed and she would roll over when the phone rang and she heard him say, "Okay, Virginia, I'll be right there." She would roll over, he would roll over toward her, and she would say, "Go take care of your $1 million baby."
Dad's dad was a physician, and I think he was probably born to be a physician. Mm-hmm. But it was his avocation and his vocation to be a doctor. And I think if it was something medical going on, he wanted to be a part of it, whether that was establishing the EMS department or whatever it was.
Critical care units, he did all the critical care.
He wanted to be part of that. And so, but he also he took care of elderly patients. He was an internist. An awful lot of patients, die and lose family members. And so he recognized the importance of treating those people at the very ends of their lives with dignity and respect, and getting the family involved, at their really last time of need.
He was the first physician to have an EKG system in his house. And he would take EKGs over the phone from Logan and from different places around, but mostly from Lancaster. And I would be, if he was out mowing the lawn, I would be sitting, he would say, "Hey, go take a look at that." And I would look, and then I'd yell out of the door, "Dad, it's a bad one." Or, "It looks okay to me, but you better look at it." So I did learn very well how to read EKGs fairly early on in my life. I talked to a lot of people that have had relatives here, and it never was a negative comment. And I was so relieved when we made that decision and that he was okay with it, that we brought him here. And we couldn't have been treated any better. And it's a blessing, very much so.
He was able to be out in the community a lot and was able to do a lot of things, but only because he was incredibly well taken care of and supported at home, which started from our mom, because he doesn't get to where he got as a pillar of the community unless she's there with him. They were movers and shakers in that. They were leaders. I mean, they just got in and they did it,
and she was always 100% behind him.
Right.
He got a lot of the glory, and she was back there, saying, "You deserve it. I'm helping you. Let's get to that point." I found a poem when I was in 4th grade. It talked about having your father as a doctor, but at the end it says the most important thing about MD is being called my daddy. And that made him cry when I gave it to him. So I put it away. I ended up getting it, I don't know how many years ago. And it's like, it was crazy because about 6 months before he died, I found it. And it had been packed away for years and years. I probably lived in 4 or 5 different homes. And I looked at it and I thought, I know what I'm going to do with this. So I just put it in a spot that I would remember. And so when the time came, I said, I want this to be with him when he's buried. So that's where it was. But to me, it's my daddy. The number of people who came and they came and they came. And somebody said to me, Cynthia, they are blocks down the road, just blocks. And we were there, I mean, we toughed it out. Not that it was even tough because it was so beautiful. But I didn't even know my feet hurt so much until I sat down after. I mean, I'm sure we were all feeling the same way. It was just exhilarating almost because they were so loving and exhausting all at the same time.
We had lots of visitors once he was here. And first of all, the staff here and the facility was just you couldn't have ever asked for more. This place, without this place and without this facility, that wouldn't have happened. It couldn't have happened. And that's the beauty of this, is it's so accommodating.
And the staff.
And to him, but also to us. And it made all the difference in that last 5 days. I mean, it just made all the difference in how we were able to care for him because he was so well cared for. And it made the end so much more meaningful and less stressful.
If you go outside, that beautiful fountain that you have out there, people have been able to go out there and have their final time there, and also down at the bottom of the ravine or at the shelter house there. And I thought, how many places can you go that you have a choice? The family and the person dying has that choice to be able to go where they want, to be able to have that experience. It was just such an honor to be here. So it felt very normal, which is odd, but it did. I mean, we were at home. I felt at home here. Oh, yeah. And that's you and your staff and the building itself, which is so warm and home-like. So we thank you for that as well. It's like he felt relieved that he was somewhere he knew he would be well taken care of, and everyone knew him and loved him.
We were able, because of the facility here, to spend 24 hours a day with him. Mm-hmm. They set it up so that we could sleep at night on a cot. I mean, on a cot that was really the most comfortable cot I've ever been on. I mean, I spent three nights, and it was like, this is nice. I mean, this is great. And in the middle of the night, it's not like being in a hospital where they come in and wake you up and do all this tests. It wasn't like that. I mean, they'd come in and check, but it would be very unobtrusive and just so compassionate. Loving. You couldn't have asked for anything more than what was provided. And what's interesting is it's not unique to him. That kind of care, I've been here many, many times seeing clients that were in their last, or parents of clients that were here and come here. And they're always so well treated. And the families are just all so well cared for. And they're in different emotional states, but they're such compassionate care. It's just, it's very, it's just so consistently striking. We've been here in one form or another. I mean, we've gone for college or for work or whatever since we were little kids. And when you're in a community for a long time, you learn that, hey, when you have a specific need, there's specific people or organizations you can call on, and you don't really think about shopping price or doing this or doing that or doing whatever. You just know that, hey, got a problem, that's where I'm going. But that, I can't think of a place that's head and shoulders above all the other people that do what they do more than FAIRHOPE. And Pickering House is such a wonderful organization, and it's such a compassionate place. I mean, you shouldn't think twice about where either for yourself or where your loved ones, where you want them at the end. It doesn't stop. FAIRHOPE services, they don't stop when your loved one dies.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Because some of our memorials were directed here, and for Dad, and we got up to the minute lists of who donated, so we could write thank you notes to them, and then plus follow up care to all of us from grief services
calls,
to say,
letters.
Hey, what can we do? Yeah. Is there anything we can do for you or your loved ones? Can we help you through this difficult time? So it doesn't just, when the person dies, that's not the end of the services, which is just beautiful.
Highly unusual in the world of medicine.
We have a younger brother that lives in Florida, and I was down visiting him, and we talked about our experience here. He is just, just so thankful that he was able to be here and be so welcome, and be not just Dad being well cared for, but seeing all of us being well cared for.
Don't hesitate. Do not hesitate. You will not be disappointed. If you call, they're going to be able to provide some assistance to you. Maybe not right away, but there'll be that organization or that group of people that will reach back out to you, and that you can contact when things change. So it can't, and even you have people that are on palliative care, and there's hundreds of people on palliative care. They're not going to die right away, but they're getting service because they need it. And it's not about the money. I mean, it's not about, hey, if you have money, we're going to roll out the red carpet for you. They roll out the red carpet for everyone and anyone. So this isn't a place where you get what you pay for. You get so much more than you could ever pay for. It was just such a blessing to be able to have that time with him and to get everyone here.
The Friday night before he passed away, he was hungry and he wasn't real excited about whatever was being served. So someone asked him, he said, well, I could use a grilled cheese sandwich. And so they fixed one and brought it in.
Forgotten that.
And so he took a bite, and then Judy, his
Ziggo.
His sweet girlfriend. He said, "Do you want a bite?" And then he'd, shove it at her, and she'd say, "No, it's for you." And then he ate it. But that was just really neat that they were able to do that, because he just wasn't going to eat. He didn't want to. And then they said, he said, "But I would like a grilled cheese sandwich." And all of a sudden, it was produced. So that was pretty cool.